part of our exam review, we're going to be looking at finding the equation of a line. The very first part of what we started with was finding the equation of the line given 2 points. And it's the one that involves the most work, but usually you guys will get this one right, so you know all the steps from start to end. So, you have 2 points here, 4, 7, 8, 9. We're going to find the equation of the line that goes through those points. And then we're also going to find its midpoint and the distance between those 2 points as well. So, for part A, first thing we need to do, and this is the first thing we always need to do when we go for the equation of the line. I shouldn't say always, but generally, the first thing you're going to do is find the slope. Okay, so the slope, you have the formula for that. Remember the tip that I gave you, and so you don't get your numbers confused, is to label. Okay, so when you're subbing numbers into your equations, you don't get confused of which one is which. And that's the most common source of error. So my y2 is 9. Subtract my y1, which is 7. My x2 is 8. Subtract my x1, which is 4. End up with 2 over 4, which can be reduced to 1/2. So there's my slope. The slope is equal to 1/2. So now for part B, we're going to do the actual equation of the line. So the equation of the line is y equals mx plus b. We just solve for the slope. So now we know the slope. I need my y-intercept, b. So to get that, I'm going to take one of my points, it doesn't matter which one, sub in 4 for x and 7 for y. I'm going to sub in my slope, which is 1/2, and the only thing that will be left is b, so then we can solve for it. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 7 for my y. So 7 is equal to my slope, which is 1/2. Okay, onto my x value, which is 4, plus b. And so I get 7 equals 2 plus b. And we end up with 5 is equal to b. So now I have both my slope, which was 1/2, and my y-intercept, which is 5. And so now I can say, therefore, the equation of the line is y equals my slope x, so mx, so slope is 1/2, plus my b, so my b is a positive 5. So there's the equation on my line. Next part, part C, asks for the midpoint. Okay, so once again, you have a formula for that. Okay, so the midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Let's just go up and steal those 2 points up here. Carry it down. Plug them straight into the formula here. And so my x1 is 4, my x2 is 8. So I end up with 4 plus 8, all divided by 2. And that's going to give me the x coordinate of my midpoint. And And then I have y1 plus y2, so that's going to be 7 plus 9 divided by 2. So a little bit of mental math. 12 divided by 2 is going to give me 6. 16 divided by 2 is going to give me 8. So there's the midpoint. Again, if you have time left over at the end of the exam, you can even take graph paper and plot your 2 points, connect them with a ruler, and then see if 6, 8 looks like it's approximately in the middle. And you can check to see whether the answer is right. And you can also check to see whether the equation of your line looks right. I can take it and check and see, does the slope, does the rise over run look like it's 1 over 2? And does the intercept look like it's going to be 5? You can check all these with some graph paper. Last part, D. Drag your points back down here. Just looking for the distance between those 2 points. Okay, so you have the distance formula is equal to the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This really should be some free points for you on the exam. The formula's right there. Just be careful of the common mistakes. I'll speak about those here in a second. We'll just go through this for now. So my x2 was 8. Subtract my x1, which is 4 squared, plus my y2, which is 9. Subtract my y1, which is 7. Square that. So we end up with 8 subtract 4, which is 4 squared, plus 9 subtract 7, which is 2 squared. And so this gives you 16 plus 4. And so then my distance is equal to the square root of 20. Now, a couple things here before we say that we're finished. And one of the common mistakes that I'll get is if I wrote this the other way, which is still fine, I would get 4 subtract 8, which gives me negative 4. Right? And then negative 4 squared, a lot of people will write that as negative 16. Okay? But negative 4 squared means negative 4 times negative 4. Negative times a negative is a positive. Right? So I would still end up with positive 16. So even when you start out the question, if you labeled your points differently than I did, you labeled this x1 and this one x2, you'd end up with a negative 4 here and a negative 2 here, because your y's would have been switched as well. A negative 4 squared is still positive 16. Negative 2 squared is still positive 4. Now the last part, you won't find this answer on multiple choice, and it's not the most simplified answer, because this can be simplified. Okay, so I can say this is the same as the square root of 4 times 5. Take the square root of 4, that's 2, so we take the 2 out.